Welcome back to the Ether Forge. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to make some muddy tracks. So step one to all of my projects is to get yourself something good to drink. You gotta stay hydrated. And getting right into it, we're going to start with some Sterling Battlemire. I like this stuff, it's got kind of a gritty texture, so you're going to work it into all the cracks and crevices around the tank. Or anything you're really doing this on, boots, armor panels, anything. And like I said, just work it into all the cracks. You can be as generous or sparing as you want at this point, but the main thing you want to focus on is having a bunch of different textures on the track. So with this stuff, you're getting that gritty texture all over. And this is about what it should look like when you're done putting that stuff on. As you can see, I'd put it on more than just the tracks. That's pretty important to kind of spread it out and blend it in all over, because mud wouldn't just stay on the tracks. So next we're going to take some Sterling mud and mix it with some static grass. The color of the grass doesn't matter too much. You're not going to see a whole lot of it once you mix it in with the paint. So you use whatever you have. This is what I had to hand. I've never been able to use all of this. I think I've had it for like 10 years. So yeah, just take a pinch and mix it in with your mud. You want it to look like really grassy mud. So you'll see I put it down and mix it up here, and I decided that it was way too liquidy. So we go ahead and add another pinch and mix that all up, and that gets us closer to the texture that we want. As you can see on the paintbrush here, it looks like you're putting wet grass, and then you want to tuck that into the recesses and the sides of panels. Make it look like anywhere that grass would build up. So like on the very tops of tracks and stuff, you might want to avoid it, but on the actual tank and in the wheels, that's kind of where I was aiming for. And I just go around the whole tank, adding it wherever I think it could use a little bit more texture. Alright, and then next we're going to take the regular mud, just the Sterling mud, and apply that over the tracks as well. So once we add the mud, that gives us a third texture, and that's what I like to aim for basing and mud like this. It adds a lot of variety to what you're looking at, makes it look more visually appealing. And as we go, and in the next clip here you'll see when I'm done, it looks pretty monocolor. So after this we're going to start adding some variety to the color as well. So first we set up our textures that we want with the two different types of basing paint and the grass mixture. And now we're going to go in after we're done putting the mud on and adding some color. And with that applied, we want to wait for it to dry. And then here's kind of what it looks like before we start adding color. Next we're going to go with the good old Agrax Earth Shade. Really like this stuff, been using it for a while. And you just kind of fill it in. Wherever you put the mud, you want to cover it over. And don't be too afraid of pooling. Don't go crazy where it's actually dripping. But you don't need to spread it out as much as you would if it was a traditional wash application. You can also see here too that I'm not covering every single inch of the panel. Just kind of where I put the mud to add some shadows to it. So along the track connections and anywhere that there's more texture buildup. So with the wash applied, we're going to wait for that to dry. And here's kind of what it looks like with that wash on it. And I didn't actually record this step, but I did a matte varnish over all of it. I used a spray can. You can use whatever you want, but you really want to seal it before this next step here, which is dry brushing. I used the Citadel XV88 paint. It's kind of just what I did for this whole army, so I'm just keeping it consistent. But any like lighter brown dry brush would work. So you just kind of take it and work it into all the mud. I like to go back and forth across the tracks and then kind of circular motions to work the paint in. And while you're going around doing this, you want to dry brush outside of where you painted. So along the edges of the tracks, on the actual tank, the armor panels, etc. You can kind of see here along the top that I'm going along the ridge on the top of the tank and all the extra bits. Anywhere that dust and stuff would build up. So you kind of just want to feather it out away from the mud. And with that applied, that's pretty much it. You can add another layer of dry brushing or even washing. It's up to you, but that's kind of where I wanted to get it to, and I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully this gives you a pretty decent idea of how to do mud on your tanks. It's pretty straightforward. Just shoot for your 3 textures and 3 colors. Try to work everything in 3s. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something here. If you have any questions about the process or things you would do differently or things I should have done differently, let me know down below. If you enjoyed this, give me a like, and I'll be coming back soon with another video. Thanks for watching.